honoured to rise in support of this motion, moved by the member for Dunstan and seconded by the member for Hammond, and I'm sure we'll enjoy the support of the whole House. I'm also honoured to follow on from the member for Stewart's contribution and referring as he did to the community that he represents. I'm reminded and moved that it was my great-grandfather Arch who built the First World War Memorial at Pirrie that still stands proudly there alongside now the memorial for the Second War. And as we look at both built memorials and at the response of community on ANZAC Day, also on Remembrance Day, I think we can be confident in the knowledge that we remember them, we commemorate, and we don't forget. And in many ways, I think as the events of 1915 become more and more distant from that immediate and raw loss that was felt in communities, particularly small communities back home in that most immediate way, the shock and devastation of such massive losses, we are both reverent in our commemoration, but as members who've contributed to this debate have highlighted, we also still feel and empathise with those who have been lost since and those who continue to suffer as the result of conflict and of military action. In reflecting in the course of this debate, also want to pay particular tribute to the former president of the Stirling RSL, John Thomas, who we've lost since the last ANZAC Day, and he'll be missed particularly by those members of the Stirling RSL when we commemorate on an ANZAC Day at Stirling. John was much loved by his family and by the broader community, and he's held in the highest regard by the Stirling RSL. His service to community extended far beyond the RSL. He was a very significant contributor to all that we value highly in our local community, and I say Vale John Thomas. It was relatively early on for me when having the chance to speak in support of Premier Marshall's motion to the Parliament in November 2018 that I recalled having represented the Premier at the then freshly unveiled memorial at the Stirling Coventry Library. That had occurred just a few weeks prior to that. And John Thomas was central to the work that was necessary to bring that memorial to fruition, and that stands now at the centre of Stirling. We know now, as young primary school students, all the way through to the elderly members of the community attend, that we will continue to honour their memories. I also want to pay particular tribute to Dennis Oldenhove, who's the president of the Macclesfield RSL, long-time president of the Macclesfield RSL, and a true community leader in every sense. He has led an RSL that, unlike so many, whose numbers across Adelaide across the state we know have dwindled in recent years, is an RSL that is growing, not only in its physical form, but in terms of its membership and its outreach in the community. And Dennis does an extraordinary job as a community leader. I'd very much encourage anyone who is able to join at the traditional evening service at Macclesfield that Dennis leads. That's occurring just prior to ANZAC Day. It's a truly extraordinary special event. It takes over the main street of Macclesfield as people gather outdoors for that twilight service prior to ANZAC Day. And there are so many places throughout the hills of Hyson that will be joining to commemorate ANZAC Day. And as I said at the commencement of these remarks, really demonstrating that the nature of the losses that were felt, particularly in the First War, were losses to the core of small communities that remain small communities today. And as one reflects on multiple family members who were lost in a small town, it's no wonder that those built memorials were established then so soon after the war, and the loss and damage that was felt was very much the loss of small towns and small communities. It's still keenly felt throughout the hills. None more so than at Clarendon, where, and there are several members of the House who've been present at Clarendon's ANZAC Day memorial, which traditionally occurs at mid-morning, as the sun is well and truly up, and it usually is at its most bright and clear and crisp at that point. It's a warm and thankful commemoration that comes following so many dawn services throughout the hills, truly moving, and as each one is in its own way demonstrative of our community's deeply felt thankfulness for those who served and for those in particular who paid the ultimate sacrifice, lest we forget.